Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abby, and if you work with SQL Server, today's video is going to be super useful. We are diving into something that takes your T-SQL skills to the next level. Control flow in SQL Server is the topic which we are going to cover today. You will learn how to use while loop to repeat tasks smartly, handle errors with try catch like a pro, and control execution flow using break, continue, and return. These logics help you write cleaner, more powerful, and reliable SQL scripts. And I will show you exactly how the real-world examples, not just the theory. So if you are ready to make your SQL script work smarter, you are in the right place. Before we jump in, just a quick favor. Hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already, and share this video with someone who writes SQL. It really helps support the channel and keeps this kind of deep dive content coming. Let's get started. Let's try to understand what control flow logics in T-SQLs are. They are the statements in a structure that determine the order in which SQL commands are executed. So if you have a file, especially a script file, maybe a stored procedure or something, and you have lots of logics written there, so it controls the flow. Like if the execution is coming from top to bottom, at a particular point, where should it go? Should it go to this section of the code or should go to this section of the code? So this can be achieved using many statements. Number one is that we can use it using if else. You can write while loop, and we can use try catch. We have GoTo, we have break, continue, and return. In this session, we are going to talk about all of these one by one in practicals. First thing is while loop. How do we write while loop in SQL T-SQL? So we have to write a statement called while, W-H-I-L-E, and here is the condition. And this is the starting body of while, and this is ending. So everything that you write within this opening and within this begin and end will be repeated as many times as your loop runs. This is an example wherein I have a variable I, and I has been assigned with 1, and then we are telling until y becomes 10. So while I is less than equals 10, print I, and then increased I by 1. So it will come here and it will say, since the value of I is 1, it will say that it is less than 10. So it will print I value will be increased by 1. Again, it will come here and say it is 2, which is less than 10, print, and this way it will print all those values from 1 to 10. Make sense? Let's go and see this in action. I am in SQL Server Management Studio, and here the same logic that we have written. Let's go select this and execute this. We can see all the values all the way from 1 to 10 getting printed here. Make sense? Let's go and see another example. In this example, we are going to print the table of 5. So we have declared two variables, num and count. Num has been assigned by 5. Count is 1. We are running a loop from 1 to 10 here. And then we are printing the value of num into count. So count will be 1. So 5 into 1, 5 into 2 equals 10. Like this will be printed. And here is the value of count is getting increased by 1. So mainly if we see, the while loop has two sections, the while loop condition, and here the value gets incremented or decremented. Let's go and select this and run this loop. Executing this script prints the value, the table of 5, 5 1s are 5, 5 2s are 10, like this. Let's go and see the third example. In this example, we are going to take a real world example wherein we will have some table, and in this table we will do something conditionally. Make sense? So we are going to create two tables, TBL customer purchases and TBL loyalty points. So there is a system wherein there are customers data are stored, and based on the purchases that they made, the loyalty points are assigned to them. The loyalty points are the kind of points which are assigned based on the based on the amount of purchases made. If you are purchasing more, you will get more loyalty points, which you can utilize further for further purchases, or in other way you can utilize these points. So this has got two tables, customer purchase and loyalty points. What is the logic? We have to go through each row of customer purchase data, and then we have to calculate the loyalty points based on the purchases they have made. For each 100 spent, 1 loyalty point will be assigned. So you can imagine, if customer purchases table has got 100 records, so it will go one by one, check each record, and it will check the value of purchases, and for every 100 bucks purchases made, 1 loyalty point will be assigned to that customer. There is a possibility that this customer already exists in loyalty table. If it already exists, his loyalty value will be updated, else a new record will be inserted in loyalty points table. So there are lots of logics that we have to make. I mean, almost there are 2-3 things that you have to do. You have to go records one by one. You have to check how much purchases made. If purchases, for every 100 purchases, 100 bucks purchases, 1 loyalty point will be assigned, and that another table, that is TBL loyalty points, will be either updated or a new record will be inserted. Make sense? This is something which has got complex business logic. Not that complex, but yes, it's not that simple as well, and which we really cannot easily achieve through normal SQL query. And that's where we will try to use while loop here. So let's go and create these tables first. The first table is TBL customers table, which has got purchase ID, TBL customer purchase, which is customer ID, and purchase amount. Let's create this table. Table has been created, and then let's go and insert some data into this table. The data have been inserted. This is the second table, which has got 2 fields, customer ID and loyalty points. Let's go and create this table as well. Table has been created, and then assign some initial values here. If we are going to see the data in both the tables, we see that the first table, which is TBL customer purchases, has more records, but TBL loyalty points has less records. So that has happened because the remaining customers did not do more purchases, right? So only the 3 customers, 1001, 1002 and 1003, they made purchases, and that's why they have some loyalty points. So what will happen, according to our logic, the value of these guys will be updated and remaining guys will be inserted in this table. Make sense? Let's go and try to understand the logic. We are creating a couple of variables here: purchase ID, purchase customer ID, purchase amount, points to add, and then we are creating a cursor. Those who are new and have not gone through our cursor video, they can refer this. We have created a very good video on cursor. I will actually give the link over I button or in description. You can refer that video. So that this is the way where actually what we do is, once we have to process the data of any table record by record, so we can store it in cursor and then we can iterate it through. So here we have created a cursor called purchase cursor, and here we are assigning values into these variables from cursor. And this cursor is populated as select all purchase ID, customer ID, purchase amount from TBL customer passage. So these values are assigned to this cursor, and from this cursor we are going to assign values to these fields. This loop is run while fetch status equals 0. So this will keep on going until it reaches fetch status as 0. This is the begin and end of this while loop, wherein what we do is we read the value. First value has been read, and points to add is purchase amount by 100. So number of loyalty points is calculated, because we have seen that for every 100 bucks of purchase, they will get 1 reward point or loyalty point. So this has got loyalty point. And then we are doing it, if this customer data already exists, we are updating the loyalty points. So existing loyalty points plus the current loyalty points that we have calculated. But if that customer ID does not exist, then we will insert the data. And here fetch next is that reading the next record, and it will keep on going until it finishes and fetch status becomes 0. and eventually this ends. Let's go and try to execute this whole logic to see things in action. We have selected this and we have executed. Let's go and try to see both of the tables here. So you see that those customers who are existing, their loyalty points have increased, and those who are not existing, they have been inserted into this table. Make sense? I think by these three examples, you are pretty much clear about how to write while loop for normal SQL statement and calculations, as well as you can embed it and use it for the business logics, complex business logics, and work on tables and etc. Make sense? The next thing that I'm going to talk about the error handling. We handle the error using try catch. What is error? Especially once you are executing SQL query statements and then you are writing business logics, you may encounter some sort of error. For example, the simplest example, let's say you are trying to do some division and you accidentally encounter that you are going to divide by 0. So that returns into an error. And if you have not handled, what happens? Your total business logic gets impacted. So in that case, what happens? We have to handle the errors. We can achieve error handling using try catch. So how can we write try catch here? We have to write begin try and then everything, that code that you write here, which is suspected to error within the try, and then here is the catch. So if any error occurs in this section, this will be caught in the catch block. Let's go and see this in action. So I'm back in SQL Server Management Studio, and here we have one example where what we are trying to do is int x. This has storing 10 and y is 0, and we are trying to divide x by y, means dividing by 0. This will throw an error. So we see this is an error occurred. This is an error occurred. Divide by 0 error encountered, and this is called a system message, that is called error message. I will talk about many other global functions like this, but right now just error message, which will give you the error message here. Next, we are going to incorporate one more question here. We have this table we have already created, and what we are trying to do is we are trying to insert some value. So you see here in purchases table, we are going to insert wrong data. So TBL customer purchases has got, let's say I'm going to insert few values, like instead of customer ID, I'm going to write customer name. So this is accidentally a wrong thing that I'm trying to do. But if I have written my code and so basically this customer ID is of integer type, wherein I'm going to insert some varchar value to it, a text value. So it should throw an error. So that's where we have actually written try catch. So this section is in begin try, and this is begin catch and end catch. Here I have introduced couple of messages. This is called error message, which will show you the error. I will talk about all of these one by one. So you see here, if I try to do this, this gives that conversion failed when converting the varchar value John to data type int, because it is trying to insert John at the place of customer ID. Line of error is 3, 1, 2, 3, and error number is 245. Error severity is 16 and error state is 1. I'll talk about all of these in detail in some time. So let's go and try to understand what all these functions, the global functions that we have seen here, what are they meant for, what value they gather, and what they show. Error number returns the number of the error. I'll show you all this. Error message returns the full error message. Severity returns the severity of the error, and state returns the state of the error. Returns the line where the error occurred. An error procedure basically returns the name of the stored procedure where the error occurred. Talking about the error numbers, you can have the list. 547 is foreign key violation. 2601 is cannot insert duplicate record. So if you find any error number like this, you have the description of this. You can pause the video and you can take a snapshot of these. Likewise, we have error severity. 0 to 9 is informational message. Debugging do not indicate an error. 10 is a status message for the user, not true error. 11 to 16 is user correlated errors. So we could saw that in this case the message came like severity is 16. That means it is user correlated errors. So 17 and all. So this is the list of severity, and error stage is 1 is default general condition error, 2 to 10 is violation of error condition, 11 to 127 is rare, which internally to pinpoint a specific spelling. Code paths, I'm not going to cover these all in detail, but you can anytime try these out, or if you need any further and detailed information on this, you may write your comments. I will make another session on this all in detail. Going for the next is GoTo, wherein it has the flow control that jumps execution to leveled block. So we can write level like this, go to level. So if you have number of a statement, it will directly jump into this level. Likewise, we have break. So break basically does what? It's a flow control keyword used to exit a while loop immediately when you write break. So you have a while loop running, code is running, and if the condition meets, then break, this will come out of the loop. And likewise, we have continue. So what happens if continue? If you have any condition, if that satisfies, so it executes remaining code, but not that code which where you have conditionally written the continue. And return is exiting from stored procedure functions or batch immediately. Let's go and see this all in action. So I am here. The first example is of GoTo. You see that x is 5, and we say that if x is 5, then GoTo skip. So it will skip this value and it will come here. Let's go and try to execute this. You see that this line is printed because of GoTo. I mean, it didn't print this value, it came here. But if you make it like 7, and if you go here, it will not skip, and both the statements will be executed. So this is how we use GoTo. In this example, I'm going to show you break. So you see that if counter is 5, then break. So it will do what? It will try to execute, and it will reach, once it finds 5, it will break. So you see, counter is 5, then it checks, and then it comes out of the loop. It didn't execute 6, 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. Loop executed. Continue. So what will happen? The loop runs from 1 to 10, but wherever it finds that if the value of I modulo 2 becomes 0, like 2, 4, 6, 8, then it will not do anything. It will continue within X. So ideally, what do you expect? The answer would be 1, 3, 5, 7, like that. So whenever it gets any value that is modulo 2, so 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So this is what is the purpose of continue. And return is specifically used for returning from place. So in this example, you see that we have stock, we have getting the purchase amount from table customer purchase. If a stock is null, then it shows that customer not found, and it returns 1. So with return, you can return any integer value based on that. The procedure where you are actually calling, you can utilize these based on that what value your return has returned there. So let's create this procedure, and then procedure has been created. Now let's run the procedure. So I am running with 1010. So there are no customer as 1010, you see. So this did not execute. So let's say I'm going to execute with 1005. So it should give me some answer. So let's see, 1005 exists. It is existing, but the value of purchase amount is 5,500. So it will say that greater than 5,500. Make sense? So this way we can actually create and use return in our procedures or any other in logics. I hope the concept of control flow logic I explained with you is pretty clear. We discussed while loop, we discussed GoTo, break, continue, and return. We also talked about try catch, and we also focused on many global functions which you can use along with the try catch. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more high quality technical content. Drop your question in comment and I will be happy to answer them. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.